Each day at patspapers.com, we pick the top U.S. headlines, starting today with the Washington Post.
No wonder the phone company business has been tough. More and more Americans are deciding they don't need to pay for a phone at home, and then another one that they'll carry around in their pocket. From the Washington Post this morning, traditional landlines have been overtaken now by cell phones in homes where people have decided that they don't need to have both. The report says the recession has forced households to choose one or the other. Just 17% of U.S. households now have landlines but no cell phone, and 20% have only a cell phone. The wireless-only number is way up compared to 2003, when it was just 3%. How healthy are the banks? The lead story in many papers is the government's two-month examination of the biggest banks. 7 banks have been told to increase their capital levels. A total of $65 billion necessary. The San Francisco Chronicle notes some banks are already taking action to raise that capital. An op-ed on this by Tim Geithner in the New York Times today, explaining the criteria considered for these stress tests of the banks. The Treasury Secretary says the tests were administered to lift the fog of uncertainty over bank balance sheets and ensure that they have the ability to lend in the future. New studies found that when it comes to the negative effects of secondhand smoke, the odds are stacked against casino dealers. That in the Las Vegas Sun today. The Palin family is back in the spotlight from the Anchorage Daily News today. A report that unwed mother Bristol Palin has embarked on a tour to promote abstinence. In the Chicago Tribune this morning, he's a honey daddy. A Chinese man arrested yesterday in the Windy City for laundering honey from China in an effort to avoid U.S. import duties. The new big screen version of the Kindle has a big responsibility on its shoulders. In the LA Times this morning, it says that responsibility is to save the newspaper industry. Amazon revealed that it struck a deal with several newspaper companies. It'll offer that $500 version of the electronic reading device at a discount if it is accompanied by a newspaper subscription. Nissan says it's jumping into the electric car business in a big way. USA Today reporting the company hopes to have its mass-market electric car ready for showrooms in a little over a year. Now, if you calculated how much gasoline would be necessary to generate a charge for the car, it gets the equivalent, the energy equivalent, of 367 miles to the gallon. Also in USA Today this morning, summer is paperback book season. The newspaper has 6 top picks from the latest softcover offerings. Among them, books from David Sedaris and Barbara Walters. And finally, who is it that has the world's best job? Well, for a while anyway, the New York Daily News says the honor belongs to a British man. He will receive $100,000 for 6 months of swimming and feeding the fish on an island off the coast of New Zealand. The 34-year-old landed the job after winning a contest that was sponsored by the country's tourism.
I wish we had more time, but that would defeat our purpose for being here, which is to thin it out so you don't have to. You'll find links to all these stories at patspapers.com.